Hi guys, welcome back again. Anyone that's new, then welcome. I've just been chucking some wood around. How much wood could a woodchuck chuck if a woodchuck could chuck wood? Right. Yeah, I've just been making these lovely, delicate little bowls again. Just some out of firewood again. Oh, it's brilliant. There's some really nice pieces actually. I thought I'd just show you because I said about it, and I know a lot of people say about firewood. It's where they can get it from in places like that. The stuff you'll get in B&Qs and B&Ms, it's not the right stuff. It's a treated wood and it's not very good. The bags I've got some here. These are the ones I got. These were from Snayton Woodworking. Okay, I bought like 20 odd bags because they're closing up, and I got what I could from there. And basically, I thought I'd open one now. I just open them up and see what's what. And we'll see if we can find a piece in this one to maybe turn today and see what we've got. So I thought I'd just look at that straight away. Oh, see, quite often they're the bits I would pick up. That is, oh, that's as soft as anything. That's a really, really punky bit of wood, that one. And like I say, if you can get bits of wood like this, really, really punky, and you can get a good finish on it, just turn it to some shape and practice getting a really good clean finish on it, you'll get a finish on any piece of wood, because that is really punky. So just what I'll do for a minute, I'll just tip this out and we'll see what we've got in it and what we can. Like I said, I've got my wood burner, that's my wood burner just there, which I keep topped up all the time. It's fantastic. It not only keeps me warm, it keeps my cup of coffee. Well, I can have a cup of coffee on it for 4 or 5 hours and it don't go cold. Right now, most of these haven't got actually much bark on them. These ones. That one's not too bad. That's a bit narrow there. I'd like a bit deeper one than that. That one's probably a better one to go for. If you want a natural edge. Again, that's a really punky bit of wood. I try to find, if I can, I'll put them under here. See, these ain't got bark on them. If I can, I'll try to find pieces that have got holes and stuff like that in them, because they turn out, some of them can. I had one, say the other day, it turned out really well. That again is a really soft piece of wood, horrible piece of wood. That's a bit thin to do anything with. That's got no bark on it. But if you don't want bark on it, then, right, they've got bark on them. Yeah, so you get, let's say, most of this is just basically going to be, it's all going to be burnt anyway. It's all firewood at the end of the day. But when they're just splitting that again, I don't know if you can see that. That is a really, that's got spalting on it. It's the bark's coming off. That is a really punky, horrible punky bit of wood, that, which you probably would not turn. I mean, that's a bit of an awkward shape. You won't really get much out of that. I think that's what. Right, so we've got, that one ain't got much bark on it. A couple of them here. Right, we've got these ones. These have got a nice bit of bark on, so they'd be all right for turning. But I've done one of those. So what we'll do today, for a challenge, see what we can do. We'll take this. I'll just move them out of Lisa's way so she don't fall. We're going to take this. So when you come over here, we get a closer look on this, and you can see what it's actually like. Okay. Right. So I don't know what this will actually be like. What I'm going to do, very quickly, if I can just come past there, I'm just going to grab my knife and my hammer, piece of wood. Alright, I'll leave that down. Now, what I'm going to do, I'm just going to tap this bottom off here. That's it. Just so I can get that square on that bottom, okay? Just so I can get a mount in. And I think what we'll do is we'll see if we can, what we can do with this. This is really, really punky. If you can see, you can see that. That is a really soft, punky bit of wood, and we want to see if we can get a clean finish on it. And it's good practice. You know, you're not trying to make anything. Don't be going out of your way to say, I've got to make a bowl. All we're going to do is we're going to see. Sorry, I'm knocking everything down here. I'll be back. Just knocking the colours off. That's it. Right, okay. I'm back. Right, all we're going to do is we'll use this as a practice piece to see if we can get a nice clean finish on it. Okay. Oh, bang on. That's all good. Right, so I think all this bark is going. Yeah, look, this. Oh, that is soft. I might be regretting this now. What an idiot! I might be regretting this bit now. Who knows? Who knows? Just take some of that off. It's just that I want to be able to hold it. And all I want to see is, can I get a finish on it? How can I finish this up? Right, and get that bark off, just because I don't think the bark's going to hold too well. Right, one little tap on that side and that bit should be gone. There we go. Right, okay. That's it. Right, and as you can see, that is a pretty rotten, spalted piece of wood, that. So, I don't even know where I'm going to start with that one. Right, well, let's just mount it on here and see what's what. Yep, it's pretty soft. Right, I'm going to start with it there, I think. Like I say, if we don't actually go for making anything, right, I've got to straighten that up. It's not quite straight there. That's straighter. No, that's going to be too far over that way. Right, I've got it mounted straight. As I say, I mean, I get this stuff all come from Snaton. I've got quite a bit because I used to get all my wood from Style and Bates, which I still do. I get a monthly order from Style and Bates every month. But to go there is a bit awkward. It's like, as I said before, it's about a 6-hour drive for me to get to there. So it's not really worthwhile for me going that far. But Snaton are closing now, so it makes it a little bit awkward. But Style and Bates do some nice starter packs and hobby packs, which you can get. I can't remember what they were. I think they're about 15 quid a bag, something like that. Yeah. And you get a variety of all different woods in it. And they're fantastic for doing this sort of thing. And like I said, if you can get a bag of firewood, guys, it is brilliant for just doing this sort of playing and practicing. You know, you don't want to go out and pay out a lot of money for a piece of wood if you're going to do this. Right, that's sunk quite far into that. I think it's all going to hold up. We'll see. It might all fly apart on me. I don't know. It's a pretty rotten piece of wood, this. Right, I'm going to be here going that way, so I don't know what you're going to get there.
I might have to go on the other side of you over there. But you want to start off
put
first,
my mask on. Well, I'm going to be here.
Yeah.
Like this. So you're going to need to go that side. Darling?
Yeah.
Right, I'm just using the standard type 3 set. Right, stand back set at the moment while I start up. We're going to start up and just see where it spins, right? Yeah, it's holding together. Right, coming in. This is not a nice piece of wood. You see all right there? Right, let's have a look at what we've got. And I am just using this in flat scraping mode. Right, okay, you can see that's a pretty soft and punky bit of wood, but we're getting it round. We're nearly round. I've got a bit of a flat there. So, oh, I've got a bit of, yeah, gone in my ear. Right, so. Yeah, I've got a bit of a flat there. So really I want to bring that over a little bit and take a little bit more off of this side. So like I did the other time, I'm just going to back it off a bit, come over a little bit, just so I get it more even. Right, I think that should do it. Get that tightened up. Right, let's put it slightly off centre. I'm going to come in here now and I'm going to work my way down with the square. As I say, at the moment I'm just using a square chisel, using it flat, scraping mode, just coming round. Don't worry about the finish at the moment. We're not trying to get a good finish at this moment. Okay, I'm going to start up, let it spin up. Okay. I don't think that's actually round, but we go for quite a small channel on that. Right. Flatten that front off. Okay, I'm going to make another pass here. Right, okay, I'm going to go over to the round chisel. Just so I can get a bit more shape to it. Right, well, I just want to have a look at that tenon and see what it looks like. Yeah, it's all round. Right, I think you can probably see, that is very punky. Okay, really, it's very soft and torn out. Okay, so what I'm going to do, first off, I'm just going to get a little bit of a dovetail put on that. Okay, so now for that you can use your, I've done it the other day with a round chisel. I can do it with the detail chisel. Now, if you want, a lot of people just come in like this and just do that and scrape in. But if you come in and you ride your bevel, you can actually come in the same as you would with a spindle gouge. Okay, and you can take it off, and then you can just drop your handle, come down, gives you a shoulder. Gives you a nice clean tenon there, okay? Keeps everything nice and clean. Now, going to get a little bit more soap on this bit. Right, okay. Now we're going to try to see if we get finished cut on it. See what we can get with a carbide. Don't think that's too bad, but I think we can do better. Let's have a look. Right, we've got a little bit of tear out up here still. It's more the punkiness of the wood, but we're not doing too bad. I think that's going to finish up quite nice. Right, I'm going to get my tool rest a little bit lower because I'll sort of run out by the time I got round this end. You see, yeah, I think I'll be able to get round this end a bit better this time. It's more up this top end that we're getting the most tear out. Right, so let's get that up again. Little bump there. Right, that feels okay. Let's see what we got. Yep, I think we've got, I mean the wood looks punky, but there's no actual tear out, there's no raised grain. All that tear out is gone, okay? So I think we can start, give that a sand, that start with a 180 grit on that. We don't need to go any lower than 180. Right, we'll turn that on. Get rid of this because this is really horrible, spotted, dusty wood. Right, let's get this sandpaper on. Right, so I'm going to start with a 180. Just some of the dust is going over there. That's better. Yep. 240. going to use a bit of my sanding paste. Now I was asked, Don asked me about why do I use the sanding paste. Basically, because if you get your cuts really nice and you get a nice clean cut, then you can start off with a lower grit of paint, or should I say a higher grit, okay? I say lower grit as in finer, but you'd say higher as in numbers. So I always start off, I never go below 180. I don't even own 80 grit or 60 grit paper. The lowest I do, I have a few of these disc ones in 120 because they came in the packs. I don't do 120 grit. I always start 180. And if you've got that finer grit, you don't get the sanding marks in it so much. It's not so bad. The finer the grit, it won't leave the sanding marks. And then what I do, the paste will just take out the last bits, but also it will help to seal the wood. And what I'm going to do, I'm going to put a little bit of sanding sealer on this first before I actually do a sanding paste, because I think it's going to help this, because it's a particularly punky bit of wood. So I'm going to put some sanding sealer on here. Right, so that's a bit of sanding sealer. I'll give that a second. And that helps to stop the wax going in too much into the wood as well when you put the sanding sealer on. I'll give it a little burnish off of that, and then I'll go on to my paste. And let's say with the paste, it's basically the grit in it. It'll start off at around 240 grit and end at about, I don't know, how do you measure? I mean, probably around 1,000, 2,000 grit, something like that. I've got to make up some more actually. I'm running out of it, so I'm going to be making up some more soon. And yeah, as I say, I mean, you can use your grits, Yorkshire grit and all that, true grit, whatever you want to use. I don't use them because I don't want to turn my lathe down and start at 400 RPM and things like that. I made this paste and it works at this speed, okay? I don't have to turn it down. And it works. I mean, it speaks for itself. I mean, like I said, it doesn't matter what anyone else thinks. It's what works for me. I'm very, very happy with it. I've used it for years. I've been making this up, oh, God knows, probably 10 years ago. I made this first batch of this sort of stuff up. The true Yorkshire grit wasn't even out when I was using sanding paste. It didn't even exist before that. That's the only trouble when you do it at that speed. Yeah, well, I've got my mask on. I don't normally have my face shield on, don't I? But anyway.
You got enough.
Yeah, so it's just it basically takes out any fine little marks that are there, because they'll only be very fine, because I only start with a 180 grit paper, so I don't really get any sanding marks anyway, and it will just help to take out what is there. And I just give it a. Always use the same bit of little bit of cloth. It's a microfiber type of cloth, so I don't advise using cotton, because cotton gets threads and they can wrap round and then it'll go. But that stuff doesn't have any threads to it. They're like these. They're those you know, magic cloths absorb, you know, absorb things. They're those sort of cloths I use. Microfiber, if you like. Right, so I'll just take a bit of excess off, like that. And this has a wax in it, so I could actually just leave that as a finish if I want, and quite often I will do. Like I said, if for my sort of work, I tend to be a fast turner. I tend to turn fast. Because I spend so much time talking, I have to turn very fast. And my wax is the same. It's my own make of wax. It breaks down with heat and speed, so again it goes on fast. I don't have to turn my lathe off or stop it or change speeds or do anything with it. I just put it on as it is and it works. Like I said, it might not be everyone's cup of tea, but it works for me, and as far as I'm concerned, it proves itself. let's have a look and see what we got. I mean, we see how punky that bit of wood was. Yeah, I'd be quite happy with that actually. That'd make
some nice patterns to it.
It's got some nice patterns. We've got rid of all that tear out, and most people, believe me guys, most people would say there's no way you'll do that with a carbide chisel. And there we go. Hopefully you can see that. If the light's all right and everything, hopefully you can see that finish. We've got no torn grain whatsoever. We've got all the patterning around there. It's lovely and smooth. Is that in the light? Can you see it all right?
Fine, yeah.
Okay. And that's what we've got out of that piece of really punky, soft wood. That, I mean, you can see how far that step centre went into that wood. That is so soft. Look, I could probably hollow that out with me hands. But right, what we'll do is we'll hollow that and we'll see what we've actually got inside it. Because I love
Let's discover
bits of wood like this. I love to see what's inside it, you know. I mean, I turned a piece the other day, a bit of 6-inch square it was, and there was a toothpick in the middle of it at the end. That's all I got from it. Turned all that wood away to find there was a toothpick at the end. There you go. You just never know what's in a piece of wood, do you? Right, okay. What did I put on there? What size tenon? Okay. It's only a light piece, so I think I will go for my, actually, maybe my SCH one, my little tank one. Absolutely, I still rave about this. It's still absolutely fantastic chuck. Really is absolutely brilliant, this chuck. I love it. Oh, bloody useless chuck. Look, can't open enough for those jaws. Oh, yeah, I can't stand this chuck. The SC1 doesn't quite open as far as the 2. So anyway, I didn't actually particularly want to use that chuck. I wanted to use this one actually because I ain't got time to go into the reasons at the moment. Right, now this was the chuck I actually intended to use, but I do love that SC1, the tenon. I didn't even measure the tenon, but I don't have to. I know I've got a chuck that's going to fit it. Right, tight and 1/4. Remember, this is really soft spalted wood. We do not want to crush that tenon because as we go to hollow, we'll end up, it'll fly off. You see a tap and you can knock the bottom off. We do not want to over crush that bottom, okay? So tight and a tiny bit, that's all it needs. We're not going to do anything silly to knock it off. We're not hogging it or anything like that. We're going to be going nice and gentle with it. So we ain't got to worry. We don't need to go over tightening. Now, I did make myself a new drill up the other day, actually, a longer one, because that one's a bit short, and I made a new one because I actually managed to get hold of a new drill bit, 10mm drill bit. So, but I mean, I'm not going to need that for this job, so I'm going to use my other little one because I don't need that one. This has just got a little 8mm drill bit in it. Right, and all I do is I bring my tool rest up. So it's actually the drill's on centre. It just helps keep centre and you can push in. That way you won't get no wobbling about. You can do it on your tool rest, it's not a problem. Okay, now I think if I just go down as, we come in a little bit. Yeah, if I pretty much go down as far as that's going to let me go, that should be far enough. Okay, I'm going to put the face shield on before I do that, just in case, because it is a punky bit of wood. One, I don't want to breathe it in, and two, I don't want it to come off in it me. Right. There we go, we're in the middle. That's it, that's as far as that's going to let me go in, and that should be far enough. Okay. As usual, we're going in with a square chisel. Move this stuff out of the way. Right, remember I'm above centre, so I can angle down a bit. If I don't do that, as soon as I get to there, I'll be being pushed over to the middle and I won't get the cut. Just clear a little bit of wood out. Okay, and then you can come back to the centre. Right, I think I'm at the bottom. I hope I'm at the bottom or I'm going to go through. That drill bit might have gone deeper than I thought. Right, now again, see, now if you was hollering this with a bowl gouge, everyone would say, you know, get your sides to a certain thickness first because you'll get a bit of flex or whatever. But because we're pushing straight to the chuck all the time, we're not pushing into the side, we ain't got to worry about any flex, we're okay. We can get our diameter down as soon as we want. Okay. There we go. And people might knock you. Oh, tail for a second. People might knock you. Let's see what we've got. People might knock you and say, oh, well, you're just scraping and things like that. Don't worry about what they say. Really, don't worry about it. Yeah, you're scraping, but look how quickly you've hollowed that. And you haven't, you ain't meant to drill it all out, have you? Right, now we've got some lovely, look at that, oh, really punky wood in there. Right, we've got some really punky wood in there. So now this is a small one on the bottom. I might end up using a 9mm, the box hollower, if I'm thinking. Right, I might use the 9mm first. Mainly because when I come to this side, I want to be able to get around here and come up this corner. It's quite a narrow bottom. So if you've got the 12mm, it will do it. It will do it fine. But there's a little bit more chance of you catching on that bottom. And this might just get me in a, that might just get me in a bit better. But I'm going to start off with a 12mm at first anyway. We're going to stick with that. Because we're just trying to use just our standard type 3 set. Which, right, we want to go a bit lower now. Remember, we was above centre with the square. Really, ideally, we want to be bang on centre with this one. If you're using the 9mm or the 12mm, you really want to be on centre, because when you come to the centre, it will just clear that nibble better. But we won't be cutting on centre, okay? So don't get confused on that side. We just want the tool rest set at centre. Right, so I'm going to come in now, and what I'm going to do, I don't know whether you're going to need to see with the light, but what I should have done the other day, see, is I can actually put the light this side and then it doesn't get in my way when I'm over there. But I didn't think about it. I mean, why would I think of why did I buy a light to do this? Right, now I don't know whether that's going to help for you to see or make it too bright. Yeah, well, no one's complaining, so it must be all right. I'm going to keep it down here low, but I just want so you can see that, well, you can see how punky that wood is. It's horrible, it's rotten.
Raymond, can you see it?
It's rotten. Right, okay, let's have a go and see if we can clean it up and get some sort of finish on it. I'm going to start with 12mm. I'm going to come across the bottom here. Right, let's see how I'm going in that bottom corner there. What I want to do is just try and get it so I can get a slight rounded corner there. So it's not quite as square on the bottom. Right. Now, like I said before, for us to get our shear cut up there, well, it's not a shear cut. You can't shear cut the inside of a bowl. I don't need the 9mm. I'm going to put that back out of the way so it's not in my way. You can't shear cut the inside of a bowl. It's an impossibility. But we can shear scrape it with our carbide, okay? So, we have to come in, start our cut. We have to come round till we come on our tip. And we have to drop our handle down. Now I've got a few ridges there, so I'm going to get those out. They're not the ridges from this, they're the ridges from the square chisel. Because I'm cleaning it up, I'm seeing them. So I'm just going to get rid of a few of these lines. I'll get a smooth finish there. I'm not there at the moment. That's smoother. Right, I'm going to put my finger on the outside. I'm going to get a bit of tissue so I can put a bit of pressure on the outside of it. I'm getting a little bit of flexing because obviously I'm pushing onto the side now, and then this is pretty rotten and pretty soft wood. Okay, so I just want to put a little bit of pressure on the side as I come up. Very awkward because I've got a lot of patterning on the inside as well, which makes it look like you've got ridges, but I've got a little bit of a bump down here I've got to get rid of. Right, no, it's still got a little lump there. Doesn't seem to want to go away. Another one there. Right, I've got rid of the lump. Now I can get the shear cut. Scrape. Sorry. Oh, I think I lost the edge of it there. I think the edge here's gone. Let me just come in here. So I've just lost the edge of the bowl because it's so thin. Right, I'm going to have a look at that. As I say, the main thing is to try and clear up this tear out if we can. We've still got quite a bit in there. We can't get a lot of that out. Mainly it's a bit rotten here, and it's, look, I can actually flex it like that myself. And I caught that edge, well, I didn't catch it, it's breaking off. The edge is breaking off, so gonna get that out of the way a minute. Right, so I've cleaned that edge up. Right, now I've got to get this shear cut.
Shear scrape.
Shear scrape, sorry, shear scrape. Right, I'm gonna move that light for a minute because that's actually putting me off. Right, now let me come around this side. There we go, that's better. That got it that time. And see, when you come in, don't worry about if you haven't got room over your bed of your lathe, because your chisel does not come over the bed of the lathe. When you do the shear cut, your chisel finishes down here. Okay? So your handle is actually that side of your lathe when you come down. You come along here and you're working up here of this part of the wood, and when you come down here, your chisel finishes this side of the lathe, not over the lathe bed. You cannot do it over this side. It must be that, you must be turning from the right hand side of your lathe in, okay? So we're around that way. So now let's have a look at the finish. Right, okay. So now that I was able to get the light out of the way and have a proper go, the light was more putting me off rather than anything. There you go. We've cleaned. We're still a bit. It's a bit punky in there because it's a very punky wood, but we haven't actually got any excessive torn grain. Okay, and this is, like I said, it's a really soft. If you can get to this stage, guys, on a piece of wood like this, then believe me, you will have no trouble finishing up any piece of wood. I see so many people are putting questions up saying, you know, oh, torn grain and getting rid of torn grain, and everyone says exactly the same thing. Also, first thing comes out of their mouth, sharp tools. Well, you don't know what the tools are like, so you can't make that comment. And they have sharp tools. It's got nothing to do with a sharp tool. It depends on how you present the tool to that piece of wood. That cutter was exactly the same one I've been using the other day. It's done the outside, it's done everything. It's been sharpened, nothing's been done with it. And it's just a carbide cutter. And yet it can give me a clean finish. Depending on how you, so I've got a bit of glue stuck on my finger. Depending on how you present it to the wood. That's really annoying me. It's a bit of glue and it's stuck to my finger. Right, okay, I'm going to quickly sand that and we're going to see what we can actually get as a finish. I'm going to put my mask back on because it is spalted. This is just 180 grit. It's how soft this wood is by how it sounds. $2.40. $3.20. You see, by the time we get up to $3.20, we're getting hardly any dust off. Right, okay. We'll put a bit of sanding cleaner in that. Right, let's stop the noise. Thirsty bit of wood. A tiny little dot in the middle there. We're going to leave that because I actually feel I'm down quite low on that. I think that might be a bit of punkiness on the inside. Right, okay. We'll go for a bit of sanding paste. I can't leave that little hole there, can I? It don't look right. I can't leave a little hole in the bottom, it doesn't look right. There we go, that'll do. That'll do. Right, that should be alright. Yep, standard paste to take care of that. Got a nice good finish on it. Right, okay. Put a bit of wax on, wax off. Right. Let me just take my mask off for a minute. Pop that on there. Chuck here somewhere before. Right. Well, there we go, guys. That's not actually a bad. Not actually a bad finish in there when you consider the piece of wood that it was. Okay. I mean that's a really, just to show that was a really punky piece of wood, and there's no torn grain there. Okay, there's just a hell of a lot of spalting on it. Okay. I mean, we had the edge breaker. I was surprised that the whole thing hadn't actually broke, considering
So soft.
what it was. But there you go. That's that. Now I suppose I could take the bottom off, couldn't I? It ain't going to fit over that one. Let's see if I can. I'm not going to make a chuck up for it as such. I think I'll just use one of my chucks. I'm sure I can get it on something. That's going to be too big. Probably, possibly this chuck. Let's see. Is that going to fit over that? That might do. Bit of rubber mat in. Let's see. Tighten the jaws up a little bit. Give me another fraction. Yeah, I reckon we'll hold it on that. Well, I'll give it a go. I'm silly enough. I'm silly enough to try it. Right, okay. Now, I've still got my centre mark, so I can see where that is. Not there. Since I just moved it. All right, there we go. A little bit of pressure, not too much, because as I said, it's there you go. That's all right. I'm quite happy to turn that. Get in there like that. Okay, let's start it up and see. Yep, seems to be holding on. Right, for that I'm just going to use the detail chisel. Actually, I'll get the one from the Part 3 set. It's the square one. But yeah, good idea, Lisa. Face shield on. Right, okay, and I'm just going to come in, like I did before, nibble it down. I'm a little bit high. Right. Right, got a little line here, so we're going to come up there. And I want to put a little dent in there, like so. What I'm going to do is I'm going to come in this way with it slightly. Chisel's rolled over, so I'm riding the bevel on it. Don't just push it. If I'm pushing flat, it's only on a jam chuck. It's just on that little bit. It's a chance I might knock it off. I want to keep the cut as gentle as I can. You know, at this point, I don't want to scrape it. I want to cut it. And the only way I'm going to get this to cut is if I ride the bevel. If I want to scrape, I've got to come in and I've got to drop my handle down. What I want to try and do is get into this little bit here. Like so, and I'm going to put a little ring here. like that, and probably another little ring here. That's just going to finish it all off. There we go, it's quite nice, quite pretty. Now remember, we're not actually held on this chuck, we are just, that's actually, look, that stops. So you can see we are basically holding by pure luck alone. So I'm going to just give a little sand on this. Can't get into that corner, so I'm going to go on that side. There we go. Right, now I'm going to put a little bit of paste on the bottom of that, just so it gives me that finish. I'm going to finish it. Right, now I'm going to keep my bit of sandpaper handy and my little bit of paper and see if I can get this bottom off. Now you could stop at this and break that off and just sand it, but that would be sensible. Right, it's stopped, it's actually off. Okay, so I'm going to put my chisel down, I'm going to back that up a little bit, get that out of the way if I can. Okay, now if I keep my... No, it went. Okay, so sometimes we win, sometimes we don't. Where's it gone? I couldn't hold the pressure enough. Right, but it didn't mark it, it hasn't done nothing. I've got the tiniest little dibble there, which I can quite easily take away. I was going to cut that little bit off, but never mind. There I go, look at that. It's so soft. Which would have been, take my mask off, which would have been a sensible thing to do in the first place, really. But then we're not, I'm not here to do sensible. You, is it? No. Right, so we're going to just give that a little sand like that, and rub a little bit of wax on there, and a bit of like that, and there you go. You'd never know. Right, what's that? Little mark. I think that might have been a little mark where it hit the floor over there. But like I said, it's not a piece. I'm not keeping it, guys. This is going where the wood was intended for. That's going in the fire. It was just to show you what you can do with a little bit of firewood, and that was as punky a bit of wood as I could really get out of that. And just to show you that with a bit of practice, you can get a good finish. And that's done, as you've seen, purely with carbide tools. No traditional tools to use on that. Okay, so don't let anyone say you can't get a good finish. You know, the majority of people that use traditional tools would not get that finish. They would not have got that finish on this wood. But you can with your carbides, because I've just shown you how to do it. So come on, get some done and let's see what you can do with your carbides. Okay, right, okay guys, hope you enjoyed that one. Just a quick one. There you go. It's actually a very pretty bowl. I might end up actually keeping that.
Yeah, you know we will.
I might just take that little bit. It's only a tiny bit. It's just where it hit the floor there. Like I said, if I was doing it as a nice, really nice, keepable piece, I wouldn't be doing that. I wouldn't. Well, oh yeah, I would actually. I would have still had a go at trying to take it off like that.
Yeah.
It works most of the time. I just didn't keep enough pressure on it with my finger to. It was getting hot holding it. But there you go. We nearly got it. Nine times out of 10 I'll get it. Right, there you go guys. I will see you on the next one. Get your firewood and have a go. Get the horriblest, punkiest bit of wood you can find and try and make it look good. And if you can do that, the next time you go and pay out 10 quid for a blank and you get a bit of tear out on it, it just won't be a problem to you. I never ever suffer with tear out. It just doesn't exist for me. I don't have a problem with tear out. Never have. Don't have a problem with it. Just cut it out. Use your tools. There's a way you can present your tool to deal with it. You've just got to find that way of how it works. I've just done it through a process of elimination and a process of time, a lot of catches, a lot of, oh Christ, that don't work, and a lot of, oh, I can't do it that way, until I come up with ways that I can do it. And a lot of people would not think of having your handle right down there on the other side of their lathe with a carbide chisel and cutting on the top of a bowl to get a shear scrape. But it works. It works, guys. So you can't deny that it doesn't work. You've seen the effects of it there. Okay. So I'll see you on the next one, guys. Toodle pip.
Bye, guys.